This is a hydraulic launch, one of many mechanisms coasters use to gain a certain speed. However, with this massive downward trend of hydraulic launches, will we ever see this type of launch return, or is one of the most successful launch mechanisms previously even used to break the roller coaster speed record on the breach of extinction? And what caused this massive problem? But before we begin, what is the difference between LSMs and hydraulic launches? Well, linear synchronous motors, otherwise known as LSM, use a magnetic force to propel trains along a launch, whilst hydraulic launches use a series of fluids and valves to accelerate the train. And before we continue, if you're also a coaster enthusiast like me, well, even if you aren't, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I've got much more content on the way. Okay, now that we have the technical stuff out of the way, in order to understand why the hydraulic launch could be dying off, let's take a brief look at their pros and cons when compared to the modern LSM launches. Hydraulic launches provide a high acceleration, which I just think LSMs can't reach as easily. This also brings up my next point, as this initial acceleration provides a much more intense experience. Many hydraulic launches tend to have that kick to them, whilst LSMs usually aren't as forceful. And finally, for my third point, whilst notably not the biggest difference, rides with a hydraulic launch sometimes have a higher ride capacity than those with an LSM. However, to reach these intense accelerations, hydraulic launches come with many additional maintenance costs, like cable snaps, which are unwanted expenses for parks. And this maintenance obviously brings with it long maintenance downtime, ultimately lowering the overall operational efficiency of the coaster. Next, I'm going to start this off by saying that the number of hydraulic launch coasters being built have decreased radically year after year. Recently, there's also been a ton of hydraulic launch coasters that have already been removed or converted into LSMs. So I looked into this a bit and came up with this graph. Here, the y-axis shows the number of coasters open, and the x-axis specifies the years they opened in. I also have to add that when I say LSM launch, I haven't adding rolling or boost LSM launches. It's clear that hydraulic launches are nothing but dead, and that LSM launches are completely dominating the launch coaster market. Anyways, let's go back from the numbers and data slightly, because well, this isn't a maths class. There's just one more question though. Will there ever be a surge of hydraulic launches, or will they just keep becoming rarer? Well, let's look into the manufacturers. While there are several manufacturers who have tried entering the launch coaster market before, only 2 manufacturers have properly manufactured at least more than one hydraulic launch coaster. These being Intamin and Vekoma. Vekoma have built 4 hydraulic launch coasters, with all 4 being motorbike coasters. Whilst they don't seem like the most exciting additions, they certainly all help the hydraulic launch coaster industry. Then we have Intamin, the king of the hydraulic launch, manufacturing King Deca, Top Thrill Dragster, and Rita. Then we have the LSM launch companies with the likes of Mack, Vekoma, Intamin, and even Zamperla. These have all produced dozens of LSM coasters, well, apart from Zamperla actually. As from when Vekoma have switched to their new gen coasters, they haven't stopped manufacturing new LSM coasters, and don't look to be switching back into hydraulic launches soon. The same goes for Mack rides, as from when they've opened Blue Fire to Europa Park, which was their first LSM launch coaster, they've opened another 15 launch coasters. As in this time period of time, they have also experimented with this model by creating extreme spinning coasters, which also make use of a launch track. And this is what brings me on to my final point. With all these technological advancements, it's undeniable that the iconic kick and intensity of the hydraulic launch is being replaced with LSMs. Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point is definitely the biggest project of this 3-track work being done to remove the hydraulic launch. This means that parks which have coasters which use hydraulic technology are looking to demolish or replace the launch, whilst parks which are building a launch coaster from the ground up are using LSMs instead. Hydraulic launches are dying, and I think that in the next few years the industry will switch completely to newer LSM launches. Thank you for watching till the end of this video, and stay tuned for more theme park content on the way.